Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel. Well, today is the day. Yes, today is the day. Drum roll, please, ladies and gentlemen. Finally, the one and only. I mean, you guys have been requesting this artist for many years now. For 3 years, as far back as 2020. And I do apologize for taking as long as I did to listen to him, but the timing just wasn't right. I was going to listen to him last year in 2021, but it just didn't work out. But it's worked out now. You might have heard of him, maybe not. A little-known artist by the name of Prince. So highly anticipated, you have no idea. I'm already excited. I haven't even started listening to the album yet, and I have no words. I'm speechless. I'm already just so pumped and ready. Prince Rogers Nelson was an American singer-songwriter and multi-instrumentalist. He was and still is widely regarded as one of the greatest musicians of his generation, and he was known for his flamboyant, androgynous persona and wide vocal range, which included a far-reaching falsetto and high-pitched screams. He also often played most or all instruments on his recordings. Prince had a prolific output of music, releasing 39 albums during his life, with a vast array of unreleased projects left in a vault at his house after his death, including completed albums and over 50 music videos. Prince has sold over 150 million records worldwide, ranking him among the best-selling music artists of all time. Estimates of the complete number of songs written by Prince range anywhere from 500 to well over 1,000. His awards include the Grammy President's Merit Award, the American Music Award for Achievement and of Merit, the Billboard Icon Award, an Academy Award, and a Golden Globe Award. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2004, and the UK Music Hall of Fame in 2006, the Rhythm and Blues Music Hall of Fame in 2016, and was inducted into the Black Music and Entertainment Walk of Fame in 2022, so this year. Now, of course, Prince was taken from us way too soon at the age of 57. He did die on April 21st of 2016. I remember that day all too well because I remember I was at my job and I was kind of browsing through my phone, social media, and it blew up. I think I opened Facebook or Twitter, Prince is dead. And I was shocked, just like so many people. And the first person I told was my coworker. And I didn't know that she was a huge Prince fan. She was just working her shift. I went up to her, hey, Prince died. In that moment, I mean, her heart broke. I could see it on her face. She was devastated. She started sobbing, and it was quite emotional to see. I've only listened to a handful of Prince songs in my lifetime. I've never listened to a Prince album, but at the same time, I do know how important he was to music, pop culture, and just the overall essence of who he was, what he stood for. I just knew and still know to this day how important he was. But this series I'm gonna be doing, it's going to be celebratory, it's going to be exciting, it's going to be sexy, I imagine, of course, and it's going to be fun. It's gonna be a blast. So of course, we are going back to where it all started, 1978, when he released his debut album, For You. I have every intention of listening to all his albums, but like I stated already, he has 39. So this is going to be a very hefty series, so I'm gonna have to break it down into parts, part 1, part 2, part 3. So this year, I will be doing part 1, and I'm thinking part 2, I'm gonna do next year. So what I'm thinking of doing is listening to his first 11 albums. So in part 1, I will be listening to For You, Prince, Dirty Mind, Controversy, 1999, Purple Rain, Around the World in a Day, Parade, Sign of the Times, and Love Sexy and Batman. So that's kind of the tentative plan right now. Now I am looking at the track listing for for you, and there are 9 tracks for a total of 33 minutes, and I don't recall hearing any of these songs before. All tracks on the album were produced, arranged, composed, and performed by Prince himself. I didn't know that. See, I already learned something about Prince, and I haven't even started listening to the music yet. I didn't know that he essentially composed and played all the instruments on not just this album, but all his albums. So let's finally dive right into it. The first track of this entire series, track 1, For You. Can I just say that the vocal performance on track 1 was ear candy. I did quickly come to the realization that he was the vocalist entirely on this track. The backing vocalist, the main vocalist, the layering of all those vocals, wow. All of this and more is for you, with love, sincerity, and deepest care. My life with you, I share. It does say here that with all the work that Prince did on this album, including 46 vocal lines layered into the first track. 46 vocal lines layered together on this track. Wow. Prince was exhausted afterward. I mean, to be honest, I always do have a soft spot for acapella. Now, track 2, In Love. I'm absolutely in love with the production, the overall instrumental, the R&B, more funkier sound, and the synthesizers I absolutely loved. The man's voice is sex. It's sex. It's just sex. It's making love. It's vigorous, pulsating sex. That's the best way I can explain it. Making love to my eardrums. Like, the idea of sex. If it was a person, it would be Prince. It would be his voice. Ever since I met you, baby, I've been wanting to lay you down, but it's so hard to get you, baby, when you never come around. Every day that you keep it away, it only makes me want it more. Ooh, baby, just say the word, and I'll be at your door. What more do I have to say? I really want to play in your river. Open the floodgates. I mean, it just comes to a point where you'll need a sponge to soak up all the excess and copious amounts of, yeah. Just all the different varieties of bodily fluids. I'm falling, baby, deeper every day. You're breaking my heart. I just can't be without you. Take off these chains, girl, and I'll take off yours. Just let him play in your river, baby girl. He is deeply in love with this person. He is drowning in his love for this person. I like these first couple of tracks. I thought they were quite nice to listen to. Anyway, though, let's move on to track 3, Soft and Wet, which is kind of me right now, I guess. Was the soft part anyway, but not anymore. Oh god, we're only 3 tracks into Prince's album, his first album, and already all these innuendos and just the sexuality. How? Like, I'm already flooding. Why not just fuck me already? I don't think I've ever said that about a song before. I've never told a song to fuck me. I sure as hell ain't soft anymore, but wet, on the other hand. Hey lover, I got a sugar cane that I want to lose you in. Baby, can you stand the pain? Hey lover, sugar, don't you see? There's so many things that you do to me. Ooh, baby, hey lover, all I want to see is the love in your eyes, and all I want to hear is your sweet love sighs. All I want to feel is burning flames. Tell me, baby, that you feel the same. Soft and wet, every time I'm with you, you just love me to death. I mean, there is obviously a clear theme happening on this album so far lyrically. He is insanely captivated by this person. He is in love, and lots of talk of rivers and wet and flames and passion and ugh. Now, Soft and Wet was selected as the lead single from the album. I really love the composition of this track. The overall instrumental, his vocals, of course, and it's just a very, very, very sexy song. It's like a hot and sweaty discotheque. But let's move on to track 4, Crazy at You. That was track 4, Crazy You, and this was a nice little track. I really like that guitar riff. There were also other interesting sound effects happening on this track. There was a sound that was reminiscent of, to me, like dripping water, I guess. And also lyrically, it is a simple song. He says, kinda crazy, but I love you just the same because you, oh you, make me want to do, oh everything. I'm just a crazy fool lost in the world of love. I'm liking these tracks so far. The overall composition of these tracks, the production, the instruments, and the story he's telling, which is very clear. At this point, he is crazy for this person. He is in love and very sexy and sensual. His vocals too. I imagine these tracks are delicious little taste test morsels for what is to come in his music. Anyway, though, let's move on to track 5, Just As Long As We're Together. That was track 5, Just As Long As We're Together. And of course, this was pure disco bliss, let's be real. The overall production was great. It was, the majority of the track was purely instrumental. I wasn't absolutely crazy about this track. I did like listening to it for the first time, but I didn't really find it memorable enough to want to listen to it again. You can live your own life and I'll live mine. I will never try to keep you down. And even if I only see you some of the time, I'm just happy when you come around. And even if the sun don't shine, I'm warm enough when you're in these arms of mine, just as long as we're together. The coda of this song is an instrumental track originally called Jelly Jam that was added to the main track and modified over time to blend into it. I am curious to know if Michael Jackson was inspired by Prince, especially Michael's Off the Wall album. But let's move on to track 6, Baby. That was track 6, Baby. And this is a beautiful track. It's more classical sounding and it's a bit more dramatic, I guess. My favorite part of the track was the overall instrumental. I also, of course, loved his vocals, in particular on this track. I mean, for me anyway, when it comes to the emotion in his voice, it doesn't really sound like he's hamming it up for the listener. It does sound genuine, to me anyway. I mean, I did like listening to it for the first time, but for me, it's not the most memorable thing in the world. Baby, what are we going to do? I'm so in love with you. Baby, what are we going to do? I know you're in love with me too. Should we go on living together? Or should we get married right away? So just like a lot of the other tracks on the album, lyrically it's quite simple. He's singing about this love for this person, his devotion, he wants to be with them, he is obsessed, he He says, I never would have thought that this would happen to a very careful man like me, but baby, pretty baby, we're gonna work it out. I love you, can't you see? I mean, I did like listening to it for the first time, but to be honest, it isn't really a song I would listen to again. But anyway, let's move on to track 7, My Love Is Forever. That was track 7, My Love Is Forever. Another track where I liked the overall production, the synths, and I liked the electric guitar and what have you. I mean, it's not the most memorable thing in the world, I'm gonna be honest. Is it a song I would listen to again? Not really. You're always on my mind, day and night, baby, all the time. You mean so much to me. A love like ours just had to be. You're the wind and the rain. You've got a river that takes away my pain and the sky that's oh so blue. You're everything, girl. Don't you know I need you? So another loving song on the album lyrically. But I will say, at times, I feel like, lyrically, this album can get a bit redundant. I'll never, never stop loving you. I'll never, never stop wanting you. I'll never get enough of you. Love is forever. This entire album so far, lyrically, is just Prince telling this person how much he loves them and how much he's crazy for them and how much he can't live without them. So lyrically, at least for me anyway, it's not the most exciting album ever. But let's move on to track 8, So Blue. That was track 8, So Blue. A nice, jazzier acoustic track. And it was quite emotional, lyrically, and even his vocals. So, though I can appreciate that, the emotion, I still found the song, I don't know, I really couldn't get into it. I did think it was a bit boring. I had everything I needed. but now my life is so blue. You meant the world to me, but now you're gone, and I'm so blue. Even though the sun is shining, I spend my day crying over you. I feel just like the sky, so blue. So this person left him. I really don't know what happened, but he was in love, crazy for this person, and now they are gone. And he is just sad, so blue, just like the sky. I guess I'll just spend my life so blue. So lyrically, I think this might be one of my favorite tracks on the album. But unfortunately, it's still not a song I would really listen to again. But we have made it to the end of the album, track 9, I'm Yours. That was track 9, I'm Yours. One of the sexier songs on the album, I guess. And it is one of my favorite tracks on the second half of the album, if not my favorite track on the second half. I loved the overall instrumental on this track. It's more rock-oriented, and it was a bit more wild, and I had a lot of fun. Up until the other day, there remained an empty space within my bed. Then I took one look at you, and naughty things that we could do dance within my head. Never have I ever made love before. Never have I wanted to till now. Lover, can't you see I want you more and more? Take me, baby, yeah, I'm yours. I'll give you what you want. But please, love me now. I'll do anything you want. I like this track. Overall, I definitely think this is one of my favorites on the album. His vocals also were a bit wild and seductive. So that was all 9 tracks of For You by Prince, and this was a solid debut from Prince. I really don't know what is to come in his music. I have heard a handful of his songs, obviously, some of his bigger songs from his upcoming albums, but overall, I haven't really heard the majority of his music. I thought this was a nice little taste test for what is to come in his catalog of music, and I did like the overall production on this album. It was funkier, with the R&B, and also the synthesizers, there was disco, there was rock, and of course his singing was very heartfelt, emotional, sexy, and arousing. Going into this album, I did think it was going to be a bit more sexual, but I definitely got my appetizer sexuality on this album. I also enjoyed the lyrics on this album. I really don't think the lyrics are the highlight. They are quite simple, and I find at times the lyrics and stories on this album can get a bit redundant. His love for this person, he is crazy and he wants to be with them. So I really didn't find the lyrics to be that memorable, but I can still appreciate the emotion behind what he's singing about. I did like quite a few of the riffs on this album, and there are some nice production moments. There are definitely songs I would listen to again, but There are also a lot of songs I really wouldn't listen to again. I didn't really find a lot of these songs to be particularly memorable. They're nice to listen to for the first time, but at least for me anyway, they don't warrant a lot of replay value. I guess if I had one real negative about the album, it would be how I wish there were more memorable songs on the album. So what did you guys think of this album, and what are your impressions of it? Maybe you absolutely loved it, and maybe, I don't know, maybe you were around when Prince released his first album, this unknown artist by the name of Prince, and you went out and bought the record. What did you think of Prince when you first heard him? Wherever you heard him for the first time, on the radio, or you bought his record? Were you indifferent? Maybe you knew he was going to be a star. Maybe you were like, meh. Maybe you just loved him from the get-go. How did Prince compare to all the other artists who were putting out music similar to his? So now that we're done for you, in my next Prince video, I will be moving on to his second album from 1979 called Prince. I am very, very, very excited to hear how his music evolves and changes and improves, and it's going to be a very wild ride. So look out for that video next time, and thanks for watching, guys. You can find me on Twitter, you can find me on Instagram, you can message me, you can say, hey, how are you? And I will see you next time. Take care.